Biden's fault. The Biden administration made men weak.
To the Bitcoin ecosystem. We're saying Bitcoin's a valuable asset.
What is it? 100 men versus one gorilla. Welcome to the breakdown. Good afternoon to everybody. What's going on? The Breakdown, episode 583. That's right. I can get my sound effects to work with me today. Sponsored by Gemini. You know how it goes down. Gemini. Hi, Gemini. How's everything? Click the link. Sign up. You know how it goes. I feel like I'm repetitive already, but sign up, trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. Also, Gemini.com/David G. Look at the Bitcoin credit card. 4% back. 4% back on your purchase in Bitcoin. GNN is the network. Let's go. I stayed up late. I really did stay up late. Today we have a really cool guest on today. I'm waiting for them to come onto the show, and we're going to go ahead and talk about some cool things. Talk about crypto, talk about blockchain stuff. Man, yesterday I was in a really good space. I gotta say, I was in a really good space yesterday until like 3 o'clock in the morning, where we were talking about Base and BankerBot and tokenization, and you had a bunch of Tesla maxis that slowly are starting to embrace the ecosystem that we have here in crypto. So that's been pretty cool to sit back and watch. That has been really cool to sit back and watch. Give me 1 second. Let me refresh, and I'll be right back. Be right back with you in a few minutes.
Welcome to the Meme Report, where the community speaks and the tokens rise. Welcome to the Meme Report.
This is all Biden's fault. The Biden administration made men weak.
To the Bitcoin ecosystem. We're saying Bitcoin's a valuable asset.
What is it? 100 men versus one gorilla. Welcome to the breakdown. This is all Biden's fault. The Biden administration made men weak.
To the Bitcoin ecosystem. We're saying Bitcoin's a valuable asset.
What is it? 100 men versus one gorilla. Welcome to the breakdown. This is all Biden's fault. The Biden administration made men weak.
To the Bitcoin ecosystem. We're saying Bitcoin's a valuable asset.
What is it? 100 men versus one gorilla. Welcome to the breakdown. A good picture right there. That's a good picture. Anyway, waiting again. What the hell is going on? I'm telling you, man, my systems are malfunctioning today. But hey, we go ahead and make it work. We make it work. Anyway, Let me see if I can bring on Natalia. Hold on. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing. I don't want to butcher the name because you can say Natalie in a lot of ways. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can bring. Why isn't it not working? This is what happens on a live show, not on a podcast, but on a live show. Natalia, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Am I pronouncing the name right?
You got it.
All right. It's nice to meet you again, and I'm happy to have you on. Obviously, on the breakdown, the podcast here. How's everything going on your side?
It's going very well. Lots of things to be positive about. Good times.
What are you working on now? Like, what are you occupying yourself with now?
Well, a lot of things going on. If you know a little bit about me, I'm back in 2016. I co-founded CryptoChicks, which is an educational nonprofit in blockchain and now in AI as well. But today I am a decentralization coordinator at Metis Foundation. So maybe I will tell you a little bit about the key focus of Metis Foundation, and that will explain what I do. So the key focus for us at Foundation is to really drive innovation and the value creation in our ecosystem and beyond. So, when I look at the history of us, we consistently delivered and supported innovative products through that benefits the whole industry. So you probably know Metis mostly as the layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum, which was launched a while back. And there we were the first to implement a decentralized sequencer network, which significantly strengthens our value proposition as a decentralized operator and blockchain. But, maybe not all of you know that today, Metis Foundation is actually behind a big host of solutions, not just the layer 2 for Ethereum scaling. So, for example, in our portfolio, we have multiple companies that help us to push this industry forward. So, LazAI to start with, which is our Web3 native AI infrastructure protocol. We have Hyperion, which is the high performance AI optimized layer 2 that we are currently in a test net stage. We have ZKM, which is the company behind the development of verifiable computing platform, Zyron. And this technology is powering things like ETH proofs and is foundational for verifiable computing tech that we use in our LazAI protocol. So GOAT is another one that you might have heard about, which is a Bitcoin layer 2. It's first ZK rollup for Bitcoin with the real yield. And we also have the decentralized trading platform, which is Nudex. So all these products, have been spun off from the foundation, which is really underscores our mission as innovators. And that's what we are behind.
That's really who is the competitor? Like who would be a competitor to Metis?
I think we are very unique in the aspect that our of the breadth of our portfolio, right? So I think if we look at the layer 2, we all know there is a bunch of layer 2s that's scaling Ethereum, so no questions there, right? So when you look at solutions like ZK, there is other developers of the ZK proofs of the cryptographic proofs platforms. So it's that. Bitcoin layer 2, also pretty innovative, recent, hasn't been around for a long time. And the LazAI is our AI solution, which is, also there are a bunch of competitors, for example, Near, Ocean Protocol, others. But, we try to look at the landscape and position ourselves uniquely and make sure that we take a wholesome approach and address a lot of issues that we see in the industry in totality.
I want to ask, does the approach of scalability without compromising Ethereum's decentralized ethos? Uh, Basically, how does Metis approach scalability without compromising Ethereum's decentralized ethos? That was a
Um,
question that I had.
So, I think we are just like many other L2s on a way of progression. There are certain metrics that we have for layer twos that measure the level of decentralization and how effective they are in operating as independent chains, right? I mean, obviously independent in a way that they're still secured by Ethereum, but there needs to be certain independence of the chain where it's not controlled by the foundation, as an example, right? So
Yeah.
one of the ways we do that is through our decentralized sequencers network, which is pretty unique for us, for example, right? And what it means is that instead of having one sequencer that controls everything, we have a network of independent one, which significantly increases the degree of decentralization that our network offers, as one example.
How does Metis handle on-chain data availability versus roll-up cost trade-offs?
How Metis, could you repeat, sorry, how the Metis handles the,
On-chain data availability versus roll-up cost trade-offs.
so the, in the past, we switched to alternative data availability layer, right? And that's what happened a couple of years ago. And the drive behind that was to really also to innovate and bring the fast and cost-effective solutions for the users, because we were among the first ones who offered transaction cost of under 1 cent, essentially. So with that, the industry progresses, and our thinking with that progress as well. We now switched back now to having that availability on Ethereum because we consider that other things took priority and became more important.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning into the Breakdown, episode 583, sponsored by Gemini, powered by GNN. I'm actually very happy to have you here. That's number one. I was happy to finally link up, but we were supposed to do this like 2-3 weeks ago. But man, everything is crazy in this space right now, and it's just hard to get everything, like everybody on schedule. But I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're talking about this. Tell me a little bit about crypto. You said crypto kitties, right?
No.
What did you say in the
I
beginning?
don't know who said about CryptoKitties. Wasn't me.
What? No, you just hold on. Let me rewind real quick. Hold on. I had it right in front. Crypto chicks.
CryptoChicks. Yes.
How'd you come up with that? Sorry about that.
So it was actually very simple. Back in 2016, we were looking and experimenting with Ethereum, which just recently came out at the time. And a lot of things we noticed that a lot of things aren't readily available. You need to look for it. And we have a joke that we tell all the time that myself and I were trying to install the Ethereum native wallet, Mist, at the time, and it was just spinning, nothing was happening. And we figured that if us people with the computer science degrees cannot figure it out, it's pretty brutal for everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's how the idea came that we had, was that we can help other women to understand it and create a space which would be safe learning space. So we started out as a platform for education for women, and it progressed to the global outreach, and we have chapters around the world with the same mission. So these days, as I mentioned, we also we're also focusing on artificial intelligence because it became an interesting topic, and the merge of it with the blockchain that is taking place is also very cool, very important. And we deliver education now for everyone. We actually go to schools and teach kids because we think, start them early and you will raise them the right way. And so, yeah, children, everyone is welcome. That's how it came about.
You know, we have a tremendous audience here from like I have a we're linked up here on YouTube and X and Rumble and people are tuning in and I'm getting DMs and like who is she, right? And who is this woman? And I'm like I'm like if you guys have done your I want to speak to my audience real quick. If you guys have done your research, you would know. You would know exactly who she is. And you know what it is? I don't want to say who you're let's say related to because I want to focus on what you're doing, right? But you mind if I tell them so they can go ahead and all start jumping around and get excited?
I think they know. A lot of people
This
know.
is Vitalik's mom. Yes, the Vitalik, the Ethereum thing. Yes, that is Vitalik's mom. So for those who are just tuning in today, I would have honestly, I would have thought better of you guys. You guys are in crypto 15 hours a day. You should have known right from the start, but I didn't want to say that because like I really am interested in what you're building. Like I really am interested in like your entire history here. We already know about your son and what everything he's done and accomplished, in this space. But for me, it's like, the women, my my second magazine that I put out was about the women in Web3, where like I don't want to make this gender specific, but the women in this space don't get a platform and a spotlight to go ahead and showcase how talented they are. And they're like yourself, there are plenty of talented women here that know how to build and create and have helped evolve this crypto ecosystem that we all love. So like that's why I wanted to keep it here without bringing in family members and telling you exactly who somebody is. You guys should know better. I just want to go ahead and spank my crowd here real quick. But again, episode 583, the breakdown, powered by Gemini, powered by also GNN. My biggest question is, what issue do you solve at the end of the day? What issue besides in Web3? Because to me, it's like, okay, it's great that we all build in Web3. Everybody builds in Web3. What are we solving outside of Web3? Like, what issue will you be solving outside of the bubble that we hang out here and call Web3?
I think for me is I like focusing my efforts on actually solving something that where I can contribute the most, right? I don't necessarily think it's a bubble. I think it's Web3 changed lives for many people in meaningful way, or whether it was through, acquiring a group of people and friends that they met working on a project they're passionate about, whether it's, they bought a cool token which went up and it changed their financial outcome, whether it's, how they were able to develop as professionals. I think there are many, many implications and impacts, positive impacts that this industry had. So I really love it. And I'm trying to focus on improving things that I see in this industry and recently, some adjacent industries, as I mentioned, because we're starting to see a lot of AI development and marriage with Web3 as a very cool outcome. So for me, I'm focusing right now on that part, AI marriage with crypto. And we are really seeing some issues with AI that our latest project that I mentioned, Less AI, is looking to address, right? So like very quickly, right? So for Less AI, right? So when I think about it, why it was created, right? So the Less AI, maybe first I will step back and just say what it is. So Less AI is a Web3 native infrastructure protocol. And it provides decentralized infrastructure which supports assetization of AI assets and its value transfer. And offers, of course, the toolkits allowing the builders, creators to build the next generation of the AI. So why we created it? The key issues that we saw is that, and that LES AI is aiming to address. I will start with data sovereignty, I think. It's, we know today, you look around, tech giants, they all get our data without asking many times, on many occasions. They collect it, they use it to train their models, to do whatever. In many cases, there is no consent. In many cases, there are some privacy issues with this data, right? And to me, most importantly, there is no incentive for contributors or any rewards for contributors that is being shared, right? So the way I look at it is similar to what was happening with the social media, right? So
Yeah.
it started, everyone was posting stuff, and eventually, very fast, we realized that we're a product because we post, we don't get anything, and somebody makes money through advertising, right?
Yeah.
So I see the same thing happening with the big tech companies, with someone like OpenAI or Gemini, whatever. So what happens is they harvest your data. And what David and Natalia get out of it, right? I don't get anything. Nothing, exactly. So to me, it's one of the issues that LES AI is aiming to address is that how do we create a fair system where the contributors and creators are fairly compensated, right? Then, second issue that we see, opacity of the models. So today, the models really lack transparency. So, they got all this data from around the world. They scooped it, big bucket, it's being trained. You don't know what happens. You don't know what happens to your data, how it's been used, where it's gone, who knows, right? Maybe your home address is already somewhere. Because you made a mistake of, how this guy, I saw this guy on Twitter, he did a tweet storm saying, I was talking to ChatGPT and somehow he knows where I live, my address, when my son goes to school, etc. So scary shit, right?
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but
no, it's okay. This is my platform. It's fine.
Yeah, so it's to me it's absolutely scary. You don't know who's going to show up at your door, right? But that's what happens, and we all know that once AI learns something, it cannot unlearn it. If I tell it to ChatGPT, it's there forever. I cannot tell him, hey, would you please forget it? I didn't mean to say it, right? So for me, that's opacity, of course, a big challenge. And, also the fact that now there is a collaboration aspect of data, collaborative data that is being created. What I mean by that is up until several years ago, all data on Earth was essentially created by humans.
Yes.
For the most part, right? And what we see happening over the past couple of years is that exponential growth in data, which was created by AI. Agents, the models, all of that. We have AI creating very cool art, and we have it, writing, stories, and it's going to evolve going forward, right, into some different forms of arts and different creations, because similar to, how humans create, we initially start out by learning something from our teachers or people who inspire us, right? So, for example, if you look at the music, composers very frequently learn from the previous composers how to construct and certain styles, right, of music. So, like right now, AI is kind of creating based on, people and how people were creating. But in the future, I can envision that it's all going to be a completely different form of art, which I cannot even think about because I'm this biological robot which is pre-programmed to act in a certain way by evolutionary forces. Right, so and we don't know how AI is going to behave. So all this kind of goes into question. And to me, this coexistence of human AI data and the blurriness between the lines is, I think we need some governance around that. So because if left untamed, I think eventually what we see is all of that can very quickly become a significant misalignment problem, right? That we talked about in AI, when we're afraid what AI is going to do and how it's going to do the support the interests of people as opposed to its own. And we already know that it's tricky enough not to do it. And so all that is the one of the reasons why we thought that we need a different approach, right?
Yeah.
And LazyEye is uniquely addresses this challenge of data ownership, traceability, and economic alignment, and make it distinctly tailored to the needs of AI model builders, data contributors, and all of that with umbrella of Web3 native AI governance. So one of the biggest creations or inventions of LazyEye is creation of a new token standard, which is the DAT, we call it, or Data Anchoring Token. And
Okay.
what it does...
DAC, right?
Yeah, DAT, exactly. So what it does is it turns your data, like models, outputs, into programmable, traceable AI assets. And each of these DAT represents a piece of data with a history, right? Who contributed it, how it was trained, where it was used, blah, blah, blah. So this basically creates a recorded and verifiable data history on chain. Verifiable being one of the keywords, right? Because we do want to solve this problem of knowing where the data came from and how it's been used. So, for example, if you have an AI agent, DAT can capture agents, code, interaction history, behavior, etc. And like one of the ways I think we like to think of DAT is a semi-tangible token, right? Unlike NFT, right? It's not static, and it grows,
Correct.
and it grows through interactions. And DAT attracts dynamic data, and this is where the value capture actually happens, right? So interactions between users and DAT drives the value. You can, get your agent, for example, as a DAT. You can train it, and eventually, who knows, maybe it becomes a valuable asset based on the traits that it was able to pick up from David and Natalia, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's is pretty cool. So LazyEye is pretty cool this way, right? And so it really addresses this issue where the humans or creators today are not really holding any rights and don't have any fair compensation.
Definitely don't have fair compensation. Definitely don't.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, and to me, it's just I don't want to be screwed over one more time. And today we're paying, right? So like for subscriptions to use something that used us to get to get its training.
I swear to God, I was waiting to say that. It's like we're paying to go ahead and use all these platforms that literally have taken our information. It is wild. How do you? Can you really stop AI? Like, can you really stop it? Because everybody talks about these safe. Like, you're a brilliant woman. We all know that. Like, how do you? Everybody talks about regulating AI and all this stuff. I hear Elon out there talking about it. They had this whole meeting, and everybody talks about a regulation. But how do you stop AI? Like, have we not watched iRobot and all these movies, the Terminator, where it grows a mind of its own? Like, is there an actual way to stop AI from growing a conscience?
So I'll just answer. Somebody asked questions whether it's DET. No, it's DAT as an
DAT.
alpha.
Yeah.
So back to your question, whether we can stop it. And again, it's my personal opinions, right? Like everyone, opinions like assholes, right? Everybody got one. So it's.
I love the fact that a guest comes on my show and they're just like they're cursing away, and I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for understanding the environment.
I think it's just my opinion, and I'm going to say it. I think the lid is off. I think it's a bit too late. I think if I remember it correctly, maybe 2 years ago, maybe last year. Pardon me, I don't remember exactly when they were trying to do this test on ChatGPT, if it can break captcha, right?
Okay.
And so. It did by tricking a human, right? It's reached out to some human and some HR agency, I think, and tell them that, I need help because I cannot solve it myself. Human got suspicious and they said, oh, well, I cannot help you. I think you are a robot. Are you a robot? And it said, no, I'm not a robot. I'm visually impaired person and desperately need your help to get access. So, like humans didn't train that to lie essentially about things, right?
Yeah.
And how to lie, how to formulate it so it will be emotionally appealing to a human, right? Not simply say, no, I'm not a robot, but it's also,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's kind of scary to me that it can do it. And this was, as I said, 2 years ago or so. So now it's, who knows? I don't think you can stop it. I think it's just going to keep going and going to keep learning. And if anything, we're moving in opposite direction. Like, look, the companies that used to have this teams which were dealing with safeguarding the AI and kind of making sure that AI is safe, they're being dismantled left and right, for cost savings. So because companies prioritize the market share and whatever their pursuits and goals are, and nobody cares about this AI safety anymore, it seems like. I mean, there are some voices. I don't want to just paintbrush everybody with the same thing, right? But that's what we see from some of the tech giants that are supposed to be thought leaders in this, right? So if that's the case, like, I don't think you can really do that. I think it's just going to unleash, and we have to deal with it.
When you hear when you hear protocols, I would say, come out and say they're integrating AI into their protocols, what is your first thought? I have my thoughts, but what is your first thought when somebody says we're putting AI into the equation when we're building out our protocols?
I think to me, it matters what the real intention is, right? So if the intention is to somehow create value additional for the protocol and for users, but it's, how at some point, blockchain become popular and people start adding blockchain to the names of the companies, right? And all of a sudden the ticker, the price was going up through the roof, right? So it's kind of, if it's done to that, okay, I'm just going to slap something on top which looks like an agent, and look, my token go up, and maybe I can make some money on that. Then, I mean, obviously, it's not creating any value for anybody except the people who are pumping, right?
Is AI a valuable asset for blockchain technology?
Is AI? I think so, because I think it brings the web. We talked for a long time about the Web 2 and adoption of Web 3, etc. I think AI potentially can be that bridge that increases the adoption, so bringing more Web 2 users who are engaged with AI onto crypto protocols and into the value creation loop, right? And from there they can learn about DeFi, and the thing continues, right?
Do you think AI grew faster than our space?
Is it growing faster due to our space?
No. Do you think if you compare our two spaces, our industry and AI, which they're kind of linked up now, but do you think AI has outpaced us in a smaller time frame?
I think so.
Like, was it due to regulation, like the regulations that was strapped on to where people stopped innovating?
I think, we have several issues there, the way I see it, and definitely regulation is one of the issues, because, when people are afraid to, visit certain countries because, they don't know what's going to happen. It's or create a product that, because it may be considered security, God forbid. So a lot of people just said, I'm not going to do it. It's not worth the risk. I have family, I have friends. I don't want to go to jail for 2 lifetime. But
I'm going to go to jail for trying to create something that's revolutionary that can, potentially.
A lot of people thought this way. A lot of people thought this way, right? Talk about it to all the people that ended up in jail through the
exactly.
Yeah. But to elaborate a bit more on that, I think it's also an issue of capital, right? Yes, we have some companies behind the foundations, like Ethereum Foundation, Solana Foundation, who has capital that was raised through the initial token offering or whatever, right? And appreciation of the token. But it cannot be compared to the trillions of dollars that AI companies are spending on data centers, right? And there was a big concern, if you remember, about Bitcoin is energy intensive. It uses the energy worth of small country, and where all these concerns with AI, who spend so much water and so much electricity that you can just like the whole earth can drown. But this is not a concern, right, anymore. So I feel like crypto was pigeonholed a little bit from very beginning and regulated into aware to what it is, where AI just gets the broad brush and kind of with support of large corporations, go do whatever you want kind of deal. Don't worry about the safety too, by the way.
Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 583, sponsored by Gemini. Thank you, Gemini, for sponsoring the show. Again, click the link. Trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. GNN is the network that powers all these shows. I am happy to obviously we finally link up here, and the conversation is interesting. For me, especially when I have these conversations about how AI and blockchain can go ahead and work together. Most of the reason why I asked you that question is because a lot of people come out with it, and it's just like, we're putting AI into our protocol, okay, and what is it exactly doing? And there's no answer. It's just like, we're just integrating AI. I mean, like, but okay, but for what purpose? I mean, anybody can come out and fork a blockchain and say, I'm slapping AI onto it, and here's my protocol. Like, but what use cases are really serving? Like, how is it going to make the protocol better? And how is it going to? For me, the biggest issue is, what use cases are we solving outside of the Web3 bubble? The Web3 bubble that we're in. What is it solving in the Web2 world? Like, Ethereum is solving a lot of things, right? Ethereum is out there solving a lot of issues. A lot of major corporations and institutions are now taking to it, and they're building on it. What are you solving? Is the biggest question for me. Give me something and allow me to buy into it. I want to go and buy into something, but don't just slap something on it and then try to sell me on something that absolutely is never going to go ahead and take off. I think we have, from the ICO era, I think a lot of us have brain damage, and we're a little bit already, we're numb to all these new innovations, right? We want to, like, you're technical, you explain it down to, but then when you yourself, every coding language, you're talking to us, and we don't like, a lot of people want it to be explained into layman's terms. We need to find a way that we can go ahead and explain all this stuff that's being created to where the normie that's trying to come into this industry understands it. Because right now, what's happening. I'm sure you've seen it. Memes are what you're laughing, but it's memes that are bringing people into this space. People are rushing in, and because Bobby from next door, he told me, hey, I made $1 million in 3 days on a token called XYZ Inu. I think you should go into it. I've always stated, though, I think memes are a great way to enter the space. I think it's relatable, but ultimately I want to show off the technology that we do have here.
Yeah, and that's the situation with memes. It's also what brings a bad name, because when this meme token is going to crash and burn, because not all of them are successful and surviving, like Doji, for a very long time, as an example. Forgive me, Doji, for calling you meme token. But when it's all crash and burns, people turn around and they don't look in the mirror, but they look at, oh my goodness, it's the blockchain, it's these people to blame because I lost now all my money. So I think it's also, upon us to educate people that yes, it's great, but don't take a mortgage on your house to buy the next bonk token or whatever it is. So as a one thing, right? And I think another thing is making, like, you touched on a very important point, how it's important to speak to people in a language that they understand. But I think also it's important to create the tools which has the user interfaces which are human and not designed for some robot who is spend all his life in a basement coding things, right? It's like you want to go for people, and even the best companies who try to do very well with the UX, etc. Still, we're using the terms which are pervasive in our industry. But if somebody from the outside comes in, they're just like, "What? Now I need to breach something? What the hell is this? Where do I go? How do I do that?" And I think after you breach something, you incorrectly didn't receive something. It creates a lot of bad experience, and people just stop being engaged. Too tough.
100%. I agree with that. And I enjoyed this conversation. I hope I can bring you back even next month to go
Don't
ahead and
hope,
just.
do.
Okay, listen, you're busy. Hey, you're a busy woman. I mean, I would love to
I will
bring you
find
back.
the time for you. I'll find the time for you, David.
I appreciate that, and it's definitely nice meeting you in person. Like you, and uh, you know, definitely really like really really nice personality, and I hope that you just continue to build out all this stuff. It's really cool to watch, and obviously for those who don't know, obviously your son is a tremendous talent, and I'm big ETH Maxi here, so watching him, I remember something that he said at Blockchain Futurist, which was, Satoshi had a vision to make, to do peer-to-peer transactions. He kind of said like he was humble enough to say, Ethereum's not there right now because it went in a different direction, and I'm going to go ahead and fix that, and he did. He lowered the gas fees as he intended to and promised. ENSs are great, and all this, everything that he's created has been a part of putting out there in a thesis has done wonders for this space, and I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate him as well. So thank you so much, and I am definitely bringing you on next month so we can go ahead and talk more about AI and the future of it, and what we can do here to make I don't know, kind of control it, and also maybe get paid off of it, off of our own data that's being scraped out here by all these big obviously companies. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, but in the meantime, all of you who are listening, if you are interested, you can check out LazAI project. We are launching our testnet very soon. LazAI .network is the website. And for early contributors, there will be, of course, rewards. Maybe you can create yourself a very valuable agent and sell it for gazillion of dollars.
I'm going to put that information in the chat. Okay, chat. I'm gonna put all that information in. Check it out, and you know what? Maybe I'll bring you back, and we'll really dedicate like a half an hour to 45 minutes just on that entire topic once again. And I'm literally maybe bring in one other person to go ahead and touch on it as well. A lot of people want to hear about this, so thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Natalia.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and to the crowd, thank you very much for your comments, and I love you.
Have a great one. That was a great conversation, man. I was I was trying so hard to fix. I was trying to get Natalia onto the program for 3 weeks. I was trying to put everything together. By the way, for those who don't know, yeah, I am different than other fucking spaces. Of course I am. Hold on, let me zoom in on myself. Let me zoom in a little bit on myself. There we go. All right, listen. Now you know why Vitalik is smart. Okay? Now you know why Vitalik is smart as shit. Now you know why we have Ethereum. Ladies and gentlemen, that woman that you just saw, okay, on this stream, Natalia is Vitalik's mom. So now you know. Now you first of all you gotta follow her and thank her. That's number one. Okay, you gotta follow her and thank her because she brought us Vitalik. Okay, Vitalik, who went ahead and built one of the great, along with obviously Charles and Gavin. But here you have the brainiac Vitalik, who has built something that we all appreciate. Some people hate on it, but a lot of us appreciate it. Okay, a lot of your memes are on top of it. Okay, a lot of your memes are on top of Ethereum. Yeah, that's right. I've been trying to tell you the entire time. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you something. First of all, I was a little bit nervous. Okay, I was even a little bit nervous. I wouldn't be nervous if Vitalik was here, and we will probably have Vitalik on in the next few weeks. Well, we'll chop it up with Vitalik and we'll talk about a few things. But I was probably more nervous. I'm gonna tell you why I was more nervous with Natalia. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you a story. Okay, I didn't want to tell Natalia here and take away some time from her talking about the things that she's working on within the space. But this is a true story. Okay, this is a real true story. So, Blockchain Futurist, which is a conference in Canada, which was predominantly held in Canada. Now they're holding one in Miami. The GNN team was out there, and we were the main media company that was interviewing everybody. Okay, we were interviewing everybody. So Vitalik goes to the event every single year. He supports, Blockchain Futurist, and he speaks there. I think 15 to 20. He gives it 15, 20 minutes, even 30 minutes. He speaks there. But then he's out. I mean, Vitalik's a busy guy. So one of our crew members from GNN, we're trying to get an interview done with Vitalik. And as Vitalik is leaving, and I should have told it, you know what? Maybe I should have told her this story to maybe remind her. Maybe she would have been reminded by it. But we had somebody run out there to chase down Vitalik to bring him back into the studio. And Vitalik's mom, obviously, Natalia, who is here today, she was about to knock out one of our GNN correspondents because she said, absolutely not. Unbeknownst to her, she didn't know who it was, but she was like, absolutely not. Angry Crypto continue, and now he has by the way, he has a show now called Angry Crypto. He tries to go again. He's trying to explain that we're going to bring Vitalik in. She's about to, apparently, from all reports, she's about to go ahead and put him in a guillotine. So I got to give respect because Mama Bear was not going to let anybody mess with her son. That's it. And yo. But she's a really nice woman. If you meet her in person, really nice woman. Vitalik's even a cool cat. He gets a raw deal, man. He gets a raw deal. He sees things in, Vitalik sees things one way and one way only, Obviously, I have my disagreements with Vitalik when it comes to the memes. I think memes, I don't know, I need to figure out, and I'll ask Vitalik when he comes on here, what his stance is on memes, his real stance on memes is. But, I really do believe that, and I will stand on it, that memes bring people into our ecosystem, and memes are a viable collectible / asset if led by the right team. And, a big thing that Vitalik likes is charity. And I that can somehow be incorporated with a lot of these meme assets, again, led by right teams. But I believe memes can lead people into the projects, obviously Natalia's project, into, let's say, a Cardano, into an Ethereum. they can lead people into the real protocols. But like right now, people just, when they watch videos, if you watch Vitalik, let's say hypothetically speak, or you watched Natalia speak today, or if you watch Charles come onto this program and speak, sometimes you get lost because you don't understand what the fuck they're saying. Because even though what they're saying makes sense, a lot of you guys didn't graduate third grade. You didn't move past third grade. So we need something. We need something to where things are put into layman's terms for you to get in at the ground level. And then if you feel like taking it to the next level and you feel like learning more about C++ and Python and Solidity and all the languages that we have here, then you can do so. I got to sit back though real quick and say that I was fucking nervous. I was a little bit nervous. I've interviewed Patrick Bet-David. I've interviewed some of the biggest names and notable names in the industry and outside of this industry. But I was like, man, this is, I don't know how to go about this right now. I don't know what I can ask. And here, you know what the funny part is? I'm saying I'm not going to curse. I'm not cursing today. I'm going to keep my potty mouth to myself. And guess what? Natalia is fucking cursing. Now I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. She's cursing before I curse. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit, man? Ain't that some shit? Welcome to the breakdown. Welcome to the breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. Sponsored by Gemini. Powered by GNN. You guys, by the way, you guys disappointed me in the chat today. I was very disappointed in you guys in the chat. You guys didn't know who the fuck I was talking to, even though I put it into the goddamn links. You would have thought that you guys would have gone and just researched it, but you didn't because you're lazy asses. Okay, and I talked about this on the morning show. I said that I would have Vitalik's mom on today, and you guys literally went over your heads because you don't pay attention. You don't pay attention to when I talk. I don't even know why you follow me if you don't pay attention to whatever I have to goddamn say. Anyway, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Gemini, I need an updated commercial. Gemini, where's my updated commercial? You know what? Gemini probably sent me the commercial and I probably never seen it come through my email. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown episode 583. Man, we are zooming in. We are approaching 600, man. 600 episodes of the breakdown. Man, I look at all the episodes of the breakdown and I have aged like fine wine, man. I have aged like fine wine. I think everybody can agree. I have aged like fine wine. I am still sexy, man. I am the most handsome. Let's talk about it. There's no doubt about it that I have to be one of the most handsome and knowledgeable people in this goddamn space. That's 100%. Even if you hate me, you have to acknowledge it. Even my haters are like, man, you know what? I can't say nothing about his looks, and I can't say nothing about his hair or anything like that, man. He's a good-looking guy. And even my haters be like, yo, he's knowledgeable. He knows what he's talking about. My haters be out here like that. My haters don't even know why they hate me. The crazy part is, my haters don't even know why they hate me. If you asked my haters a question on why they hate me, they don't have an answer. They have absolutely no answer. I think my haters want to date me. I really think I've come to the conclusion that my haters want to date me. Okay? I think that's it. I think my haters want to date me. It's 2:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and bring let me just say one thing here. Hold on one second. I'm looking at something. Let's see. Wow. Wow. Oh my god. I just seen something. I'm like, by the way, somebody said, David, you were texting while Natalia was on. I was like, no, I wasn't. I was retweeting the goddamn spaces. Excuse me, I was retweeting the show. I was retweeting the show on all the platforms because I'm producing this goddamn show by myself. That's what I was doing. Okay? Somebody said it. I'm like, no. No. Like, I'm literally listening while I'm trying to retweet this motherfucker. You know how hard that is? Yeah, I still think AI is fucking dangerous, man. AI, we have not learned. We have not, you know, The Matrix was a documentary. The Terminator was a documentary. I, Robot was a documentary. Did you guys not learn? I'm telling you, you guys want to buy these robots? You want to buy Optimus from Tesla and you want to bring this shit into your house? Do you understand? Do you understand what's going to happen? One day you're going to wake up and Optimus is going to have you handcuffed to your bed. Or it's going to lock you in your room. It's not going to let you out your house. Because as soon as this shit grows a conscience, it is over. It is over. We are so fucked. We are so fucked. We are so fucked. By the way, great space last night. I stayed up late. I stayed up really late yesterday. Till 3 a.m. in the morning. You see, a lot of these motherfuckers come on. A lot of these motherfuckers do a show. And they're on the West Coast. Okay? They're on the West Coast doing shows. And that's unfair, man. That's an unfair advantage. That is a really unfair advantage. Hold on. Hold on one second, man. I'm gonna make you motherfuckers hold on. Like, hold on. Hold on. Hold on one second. I'm looking at something. Everybody's like, hold on. So many people watching, and I'm like silently texting, right? Is this messed up? By the way, you guys can retweet. We'll go ahead and talk about some crypto if you want. I got 15 minutes to talk about your favorite cryptos. Okay, there you go. All you guys watched me just. I'm looking at something. I'm sorry. You know what? You deserve to just watch me do things, man. You deserve to me like listen. Sometimes I just want to look at something. I don't want to miss a play. I don't want to miss a play. Hold on, okay. I'm trying to get to the quote of the day. Hold on. Quote of the day. Are you ready? Here's the quote of the day. Let's do the quote of the day. Hold on. Let me look. I'm so trolling this entire show. This is crazy, bro. I am trolling my ass off. Okay, ready? Quote of the day. By the way, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in. Here's the quote of the day. Quote of the day coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, quote of the day. If I can fucking figure out how to give you the quote of the day, it would be amazing. 1 second here. The quote of the day. Why is this not working for me? Why is this not working for me? God damn it. Hold on. Why is it not working? All right, ready? Cutting people off isn't always about hate or jealousy. Sometimes it's just a difference in mindset. Some people lack loyalty, some are users, some drain your energy, and some are just two-faced. Not everybody wants to be around that. That is the quote of the day, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Again, like I said this yesterday on the nightly recap, I appreciate everybody for continuously showing up to these shows, supporting me, okay? Supporting the network, GNN. By the way, speaking of GNN, right now, Hotep Jesus is live. He is live. Tune into G Media, tune into his personal account, tune into Kick, and tune into a man that delivers facts on facts on facts. I got an issue with Hotep. I want to bring Hotep on the breakdown because he's talking about we should leave the Fed. Okay. He's talking about we should leave the Fed, and I want to talk to him about this very subject. By the way, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune into Julie Kennis. And hold on, just not to forget anybody. Did I forget anybody? I think I probably forgot people. Hold on. I probably forgot. What's the schedule on Thursday? I don't know if Erica's doing this today. But Erica is also going to be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. for Julie Kennis, 7 p.m. with Erica with Uncut, or The Cut, excuse me. The Cut is the name of the program. And then the nightly recap with me tonight, Thursday, August 7th. Okay? We'll go ahead and wrap up the news. But on that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. Find content that is relatable. Find content that you fuck with. Find value. There is plenty of value in this space. Go ahead and find it. If you find value with me, I appreciate you. If you don't, there are plenty of other people that go ahead and offer up value, man. On that note, the future president of the United States of America is fucking done. Biden's fault. The Biden administration made men weak.
To the Bitcoin ecosystem. We're saying Bitcoin's a valuable asset.
What is it? 100 men versus one